Very special guest speaker today is someone that many of you know, the dental students know, is Dr. Mark Littlestar. And he's on faculty here at the dental school, and he has also been instrumental in CMDA leadership in San Antonio for very many years, a long time before I came here, but he was also instrumental in my coming here and was one of the first to welcome me 7 years ago when Shelley and I moved down here to become the new director of San Antonio CMDA. So he's a very good friend. He and his wife Debbie also head up the Littlestar Foundation, which makes it possible every year for us to do the marriage retreat that we do for student couples. It's practically no cost at all, and the reason is because we're able to subsidize with the grant monies that we receive from the Littlestar Foundation. So they make all of that possible. And he's a great friend, a great teacher, and a great speaker, and we were really looking forward to having him back today. So please welcome with me Dr. Mark Littlestar.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Am I on? Yeah?
Is it up? Might have to move a little closer to...
Is this where I start banging on this thing and blow into it? All right. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was a great and overly done introduction. Welcome. We could sit here. I could sit here the rest of the time and talk about your son. He's made a big difference in what we do here and in the state and in God's kingdom. So thank you for parenting a great guy. We'll talk later about his high school days. Yeah, well, thank you, Scott. Thank you for that introduction. And, you know, I was a student here. I came here in '79, and I left in '83. And it's been quite a journey, so it's good to be here. When Scott asked me to talk, and he does so every year, I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm glad to do it. But this year, and even the last couple of years, I go, what really can I say that means something that you haven't already heard, or am I even qualified to talk to you guys? So I struggle with that, but in the end, I'm here and I'm glad to be here. I am faculty here. I've been here. When I started speaking at CMDA, I was 41 years old in 1999 when I came on as faculty after 16 years of being out. 41-year-old, little kids in elementary school, and staying here with grown kids as a 56-year-old. I wish I could tell you that I'm a lot wiser and I've figured it out, and the only thing I know is that God is sufficient, and that's why I'm here, and that's going to be enough. I do teach clinical dentistry. I've taught all levels. I used to run the operative program and some of the preclinical courses, and many of you know that lab well. You've suffered and sweated and gone through all sorts of pain there. But it is a privilege. What I do is the greatest job in the whole world. I get to start people out that have never held a screwdriver in their hand or a hammer, and get to watch them develop into clinicians and fine young doctors doing things that are amazing, and it's a team effort, and so I'm always glad to be part of that as a faculty member. It's just the joy. When we put that hood on you guys as you walk across that stage and become a DDS, it's awesome. So I'm very, very pleased. I do have the best job in the whole world. Anxiety and Piety, or Confessions of a Dental School Professor. And so the title, well, we'll talk about that. Piety. How does anxiety and piety go together? Well, mainly because it's a very clever title that rhymes. Scott asked me what we were going to talk about, and I made it up. It was awesome. In advertising, they call that a hook. But piety, actually, it does mean something on a bunch of different levels. And podiatry didn't work. It rhymed, but it's like, that didn't work. And that would have been a very short lunch, and you wouldn't even got through the sandwich and chips. I can tell you about feet, but only my own and how to put my shoes on. So. Piety, pious. And so when I think of pious, you can think of religious or devout, or one of my great, someone that I love, that I grew up because my mom read him, was a guy named Oswald Chambers, and young Englishman back in the early 1900s, and he used a term called pious fraud, and that religious fraud. And sometimes I feel that way. I talk to you guys, and some of you have heard me or you've seen me talk, and you're going, man, that guy must know something about the faith and his walk, and maybe I do, but sometimes I'm just one of you guys. I just want you to know that. Today, the Confessions of a Dental School Professor are just that. I thought a lot about it, prayed about it, and I'm just going to be open and honest with you guys, because it just will come across as if I have something that perhaps you don't now. I'm on a journey just like you guys. So pious. There's a bunch of definitions. Sometimes we can use it in a hypocritical fashion or a mocking fashion. Oh, aren't you pious? But one of the definitions, part of the definition that I love the most, it talks about dutiful. And I will tell you that I'm a dutiful worrier. It's like, okay, we have to do this thing called worry and anxiety. And you guys in this room here and spread out here, this is a very good place to be anxious and to worry. And so we're going to talk about that. But dutiful. You know the old saying, it takes one to know one? How do you know a worrier? How do you know so much about worry? It takes one to know one. My sweet wife of 27 years, my childhood sweetheart, I've talked about her before, she's usually here, but she's sweating it out in the island of Kauai this week. She could have been here. As I was dropping her off at the airport, we talked a little bit. She knew I was speaking, and she goes, tell me again what you're speaking on. And I said, anxiety. And she's just instantly and seriously, she goes, wow, you are an expert at that. Thank you. And that's what a good wife or a good husband do. We just speak the truth. So hi, my name's Mark, and I'm a recovering warrior. So there it is. It's out there. Recovering. That's the key word for me, because I will tell you that I've known that worry, that's me. I think I came out of the womb with just that gene, the worry gene. And I come from a really good, fabulous, long line of warriors. My mom's not one, but my dad is, and obviously I got it from his side. But very early on I said, and we've all said this about our parents, and my kids say it about me, there's certain things about a parent that you don't want to be. And very early on, I did not want to be like my dad in his worry capacity. Many things I love about my dad, most things, but I thought, I am not going to go through life worrying like my dad. So I've worked very hard at the worry thing and the anxiety thing. And so if you ask me, 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, 10 years ago, I go through these long periods going, thank you, Jesus, I'm healed. I'm never going to worry or be anxious again. But I fall off the wagon sometimes, and things do that to me, and maybe they do that to you. And so worry raises its head, anxiety raises its ugly head, and there I am. So I am a recovering warrior, and that keeps me grounded. So my mind is a search engine. Yep. Can anyone relate to me? You don't have to raise your hand, but worry and anxiety, that 4 o'clock, somehow there's like a timer in my body that if something's really going on in my life, it's about 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I may even wake up and go, oh, wow, you know, the cruel wake up when it's really a Tuesday morning and your mind tells you it's Saturday morning, and then you realize, but that 4 a.m., that early morning, or you wake up when you're going to work or school, and that your mind instantly starts searching. Okay, what do I need to start thinking about? What's going on in my day? Oh yeah, oh gosh, you know, it hits you. And so my mind is a search engine. So I Googled, just for fun, and my mind's a Google or a search engine some days. And so I Googled it. What should I worry about? Well, in 0.2 seconds, in Google time, there were 434 million hits on what should I worry about. And so I think, okay, I don't want to be a worry Google meister here. But by the way, look at some of these. I love this. What should we be worried about? And the beautiful thing about being at 2014, that second hit is what should we be worried about, but it's 2013, so we don't have to worry about that at all. But if you skip all the way down to the second from the bottom, obviously there's some 5 bad things going on. 5 things you should worry about in 2014, and it's like, oh my God. Unless we think that you know, we can do this on our own, 150 things the world's smartest people are afraid of. Oh my gosh, I thought I had it all covered. Now there's these smart people that are going to help us work. So my mind is a search engine. So for today of worry, so for today, some of you out there, that's not in your nature. Yeah, you got things coming up. I have one brother. We're just 2 of us, 2 siblings. I'm from remember that worry father, that gene that I got. So my big brother's mind is a file cabinet. He does not worry, and he has an incredibly stressful life. He's very successful in business, and he's all over the map in the world, and he's just one of those guys. But he will describe it like this, okay? If something's on my mind, I pull it out, I put it in a file, and I put it away. When it's time to, I may need to think about it or work on it, he'll open that up, pull it out of the file, and work on it. So for those of you that have my brother's mind, you know, lay your head down on the table here and just relax, or get your phone out and text with friends, and you have my permission. If you're my brother or like him, please, this talk is not for you. So I thought, you know, your health is kind of a private thing. And so these last 4 or 5 months, you know, one of those horrible things that people that are anxious or worried about go, oh my gosh, I feel good, but what if the doctor tells me something's wrong with me after a routine physical? Got it? So I went in for a routine physical. Mark, there's something wrong with your blood there. So, you know, a test. And I feel great, and so it's just one of those weird mistakes. How many medical students we have in here? That's great. And we'll talk later about how to gently tell a patient that they're in big trouble. So they retook the blood test. Oh, great, it's worse. Oh, it wasn't wrong, it was right, and it was really bad. So that was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And so really what this is my biopsy, or how crisis reveals a character. Again, Oswald Chamber, a literary hero of mine, says that crisis will reveal our character. Right, Fred? Yeah. And so, being the prideful, pious person I am, you know, I'm great when everything's pretty okay. It's like, wow, something could be really wrong. And to go right to the end, I'm not dying. You know, I've got issues, but and when I was laying over there in the University Hospital with that, tell me again why the gown is backless. And I was laying in there before I go in, and it was kind of an invasive procedure. And I remember counting the dots. By the way, that's something to count. Those little holes up there. But leading up to that, it really, you know, that falling off the wagon, you know, like the drunk, the alcoholic that's back on the sauce again, that's slipping, that really jumped out and go, wow, all the things and the techniques and skills and even my faith, I was really questioning because I didn't feel strong, I didn't feel faithful, just all those things. And so it was just, you know, it took me weeks and months and over this period, and of course, you start going, okay, God, what do I do here? How do I handle this? What am I supposed to do? How do I, you know, screaming and running away seemed like an option. But so this thing, and in your lives right now, you may be facing one of those things. Your biopsy. Is it a relationship? Is it a career disaster? Is it financial things? Is it, you know, substitute that, but a real crisis, divorce or a sick child, a parent that's not doing well, substitute that. But that crisis will reveal our character, and it really got me into that place of, okay, I've got to use everything I have. And a year or two, I talked about instrument flying. I'm a pilot, and I love to fly, and we talked about, even though it doesn't feel right, you fly by instruments. You just have to rely on whatever is right in front of you, even though it feels like you're upside down and you're in a spin. We still have to rely on my instruments in that plane. That's how I know my wings are level. That's how I know I'm cruising along right side up and not upside down, which happens in aviation. And so yay, though I walk through the valley of what ifs, and y'all that are one of me know what I'm talking about. The what ifs are infinite, aren't they? And they just go in, they go inside you, and they just go and go and go and go. And then it makes Google look like child's play. It's just, but what if, and then if that doesn't happen. And then we go and we go and go. Everybody with me on that? The valley of the what ifs? Yeah. Okay. So let's just define a few things. I love this. Worry. So in the verb sense, it says to give way to anxiety or unease and to allow one's mind to dwell on difficulty and troubles. By the way, worry, you know, I mean, that's kind of normal, but the dwelling part is a tough thing. Verb. The second one's actually my favorite. I go, oh, that's it. Do y'all know, who has dogs, been around dogs, a lot of dog lovers. You give them a real bone is really the best, but say you give them a rawhide bone. It's called, they're worrying the bone, to worry the bone. And it's the word of when a dog gets that bone. If you've ever watched your dog with a bone, they're worrying about it. And they're chewing on it, and they're flipping it over, and they're rolling on it, and they'll take it over here and do that. And then if there's another dog in the house, of course, we know what that happens. But they worry the bone. They're tearing, they're gnawing, they're dragging it around with the teeth. Don't you love that? Got that? We worry. It's like, I'm going to take this nasty bone that's got these little flesh pieces off of it, and I'm going to chew on it, I'm going to roll on it, and gosh, things are going good, and oh yeah, it's all, you know, you get it, our dog brought it in from the flower bed, and mulch and dirt hanging off of it, and, you know, but oh, got it, worry the bone, worry the bone. So I like that. And when it's used as a noun, it's a state of anxiety or uncertainty over an actual or potential problem. But I want to emphasize potential. Really, isn't that what we worry about? You know, by the way, when I was laying in the hospital, I felt a lot better because it was happening. I wasn't worried about, ooh, what's it going to be like and all that. It was what it was. Potential problems. That's really what we're talking about. Ooh, what if I don't get that residency? What if I don't match? What if I don't do that, then I don't do that, and then I can't go back to Dallas to be with that, you know, potential. By the way, most of these potential things don't ever pan out, but that's what we're talking about is potential. But really, so what I think, outside of the Oxford Dictionary, is worry is the illusion of control, isn't it? And this is awesome because as a speaker, you need to know your audience. I know you guys. I know you guys. You're medical and dental and healthcare. Control. We like control. I know a lot of things are out of our control, but I know the kind of students that we attract in here and are good. Control. You don't even have to be in healthcare. You can be in ministry. You can be in finance. You can do all those things. Illusion of control, right? It's not real. But, so how does that work? Well, again, I'll speak personally. Maybe you can relate to it. I won't say you do it. So I say, I can't do anything about, fill in the blank for me here. But by golly, I can worry. At least I'm doing something, okay? I know that's what I do. Maybe y'all do it differently, but I'm going, God, oh, thank the Lord there's something I can do. I'm dragging the bone around, I'm buried in that flower bed. Yes! And then I'm going to drag it out. 4 a.m. I'm going to Google search to make sure that bone comes right up to the front, okay? So, doing something. Little factoid. The average person worries 55 minutes a day. So, MD at Johns Hopkins also saw another study that the British worry twice as much. It was like 2 hours and 5 minutes. Are there any British folks in here? Yes. My son-in-law, my oldest daughter, married a young British gentleman. So we worry 55 minutes a day. The British worry 2 hours and 5 minutes a day, rightly so. But I will say not 1 minute of that worry a day was about their teeth. Sorry, Josh. Are we on?
We can edit that out.
Our little secret with my son-in-law. I want to stop here and just say something about anxiety. Anxiety is a difficult issue, particularly anxiety disorder. Depression and anxiety, real deals. And so when I'm talking about worry and the bone around, I trivialize this is a real deal. And so today I'm not completely talking about anxiety disorder, although the little worries are part of that. But just remember that anxiety disorder affects about 40 million people. That's about 18% of the adult population in some form, whether it's some, in some flavor of anxiety disorder. And someone with anxiety disorder may worry 6 hours a day rather than that 55 minutes a day. And but anxiety disorders, again, and again, I'm not a real doctor, but anxiety disorders, it's a complex thing, and there's genetics, and there's chemistry, and your personality, and just your life, and what's been going on in your life. Delta, a gene that wasn't all that favorable. And so personally, thank the Lord, I feel well and healthy. That myself and others in my family have been treated for depression and anxiety. And so, it's a tough thing, especially as believers. There's that guilt, there's that sin thing, but they're really highly treatable. There's some amazing things that are going on, and there's some amazing Christians out there leading the charge for dealing with anxiety and depression and all those things. It's treatable, and this is for a whole nother time. But you know what? It's not a sin, and I don't believe that at all. Diabetes is not a sin. Atherosclerosis is not a sin. So if one of you are sitting here and going, man, it doesn't feel normal to me, that's all I can do. There's lots of help right here at UTHSCSA. There's help through the churches. There's counseling. There's good psychiatrist, counselor, MD, PhD types, and there's each other. So let's not that slip by. Again, I don't want to trivialize anything that I'm saying if you're suffering from that or someone in your family. How about healthy anxiety, fear, and worry? Well, I will tell you that there's plenty of that here. And I will speak to you as a healthcare provider and a professional. Right now, if you go right over here to the second floor clinic, we're doing mock boards. It's our seniors getting ready for their licensing exam, where the Western Regional Examining Board comes in from somewhere in the United States and tortures all of us for about 4 days, mainly the seniors. They get their DDS degree, but they cannot practice until they do a live procedures on live patients. By the way, dentists in this state and hygienists and beauty operators, you know, people that do your hair, we're the only people that have to do like a live, you know, demonstrator skills. Really stupid, really antiquated. Don't get me started. There's a lot of anxiety over there. And, but you know what, that's not always bad. We're mocking it up, making it as realistic as possible. Some of you have been doing that the last couple days. There's a few of you here. We want to induce anxiety. We want to induce a little of that. So right here, y'all, you medical students going over to your rotations and your over in the clinics and the hospitals, you know what I'm talking about. That's an intense place. We're working on God's favorite creation. We need to be on our toes. We want our clinical skills to be good. Many of you work with me, for me, in my clinical group, which I lead. I get a little intense in there because we're not working on this. I can't go get another board at Home Depot and, oh, this time I'm going to saw it the correct length. We're working on gums and bones and teeth and a brain that's anxious up there with that patient, the whole deal. So I apologize for my anxiety. If you're in here and I've gone way over on you here with clinical, I apologize. But clinical skills, there's a time for anxiety and fear and a little worry. When we're doing a surgery in the floor of the mouth, I tell my guys all the time, you need to fear the arteries and the salivary glands down there and those things that we can't slip, okay? We can't do that. We don't get mulligans in the game. I'm a pilot flying. I have no fear of flying. I have a big fear of crashing. So I do fear improper fuel or running out of fuel or something I could have checked or not reading the weather right or yeah, that's good stuff there. I don't sit there, you know, with hand on the stick with that, oh my gosh, I'm going down, Jesus, I'm going down. No, I'm planning on landing again. Flying's not hard, landing's a little bit. So yeah, there's things that healthy anxiety. Marriage, you know what, I don't fear that my wife's running off on me. I don't fear that I'm going to run off on her. But you know what, I have a little bit of that angst and fear and worry that if I'm not doing my part, if I'm not setting boundaries in my marriage with having coffee with another female worker or doing things that I shouldn't be doing or going places I shouldn't be going in the computer. You know, that there a little fear and anxiety and a worry is good because you can go bad places. So there are examples of that. So God gave that to us for reasons. Hey, I got good news and bad news. Medical and dental students, good news, good news. You will graduate and leave all your medical dental school problems here. Bad news, you will graduate and leave all of your medical dental school problems here, and you'll get a whole bunch of new ones. The difference is you will not be Mr. or Miss, you will be called Doctor. Dr. Worry Pants, welcome to the rest of your life. All right, so you know, UTHSCSA our life here, isn't it? It's not going to be that much different, but that's a great picture. I love that. There's sick people in there, there's happy people, there's DS1s that don't have a clue of what's in front of them, if they're happy, and no. We get them right away, right in the mouth, right away. That's life, that's our life right here, and it's just a little picture of the big life out there. So UTHSCSA is our life. Things aren't going to change. We need to get it together of how we manage our worry and anxiety right now. So some comforting scripture. This is my favorite. So do not worry your tiny little head about tomorrow, for I have taken all obstacles out of your way. When you follow me, worrieth not, because of thou, unlike your pagan friends and neighbors, will have no troubles in your life to even worry about. Kumbaya. That's the Littlestar Fantasy Bible translation. If I don't like Scripture, I just change it. And then I really rely on this, Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about most things, just the ones you're pretty sure that God's not very good at. Same translation. Love that. Love that. Living in the Word. Oh, but the real one, Matthew 6. I won't read it, but it's Jesus. That's red letter, by the way. That's red letter edition. Jesus speak right here. He's telling you, oh, there's things out there you should pay attention to. The birds, they're talking about life and all those things, and the wild grass. And it's the worry passage. And I want y'all to go read that. Matthew 6. Go back and back and back and look at it. It's the worry one. And then, okay, let's be positive here. It's the don't worry passage. Okay, good. Mark, you're Mr. Positive. Way to go. Do not worry. There you go. Take home, do not worry. Thank you so much. Do not worry. Get out there. Just kidding. What a lame ending. Don't worry. Scott, you were going for it. You're going like, wow, I got some work to do with him. Do something, right? But let's do the right thing. So here it is. What do we do? I got 3 more minutes. If you got to leave, go ahead. I'm not talking to you. Except there will be troubles in our life. Will, capital will. There will be troubles. Sorry, guys. My translation is horrible. Except that there will be troubles in our lives. Yeah, James, I love this. I read it a lot. You will face troubles, all kinds of troubles. There's a positive part of that too, but there's a reason we're going to do that, because in the end we're going to have everything we need because we face that, because he talks about perseverance. And Jesus, at the end of that, if we don't think that that's true, that we accept that there's going to be trouble in life, he finishes with, today has enough trouble of its own. Ooh, ouch, today has enough trouble of its own. We're going to have trouble, folks. So surrender. Guess what? Newsflash, you're not in charge of the world. You may be in medical and dental, but yeah, so what? You are not in charge of the world. Okay, sticky pad faith, right on my computer. I just have to look at this. I would put it in my head if it wouldn't scare the students I work with. I surrender. I'm not in control. I have no control. This is my Father's world. I want to see that. I want to know that every day. I should look at that all the time. And pray about everything all the time. And I don't mean, I'm too busy to go pray. You're too busy not to pray, right? So you need to be doing that as you walk and talk. Try not to do too much of it if we're actually doing patient. Let's get prepped, people. Philippians 4, the real version. Don't be anxious about anything. But in every situation, by prayer and petition. Every situation. Good ones and bad ones. And be thankful and go, even for my troubles, is that of God? God uses them. And so in that same passage, talks about everything, prayer and petition with thanksgiving. Don't forget the with thanksgiving. By the way, it's hard to worry when we're being thankful. It's just impossible to worry and be anxious if you just start listing it. And it's pure joy. Think of it as pure joy. Really, God? Seriously? I don't know. I just have to, by faith, accept that. And you know what? It will produce in you the strength to continue. And last, that thing is pursue. He said, pursue, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and then all these things will be added unto you. All those things up above there about the birds and our clothing and everything we need, if we focus on God above our medical studies and dental studies and our jobs and our preaching and our teaching and all that, if we do that first, the rest is going to come in behind. But what I'm talking about is an active, daily, I got to deal with this anxiety, worry thing, nip it in the bud. And we pursue it. Matthew, right there, Jesus is talking about it right there. So, and I close with this, another sticky on my computer. I am not in control. I am is. The great I am is. Blessings to you. Have a great day.